Alright, so latest starting time. Let's assume you've done the forward scan and you know the minimum completion time. Okay, how do we find the latest starting time, latest finish times? Okay, this is what we do. Look, the minimum completion time is 14. Yeah? That means I want to finish by day 14. I'm just trying to find out when's the latest I can start each activity. In other words, the float time. I want to know the float time, how much I can delay each activity. I still want to finish by day 14. I still want to finish by day 14. That's my goal. So I got to finish activity I by day 14 at the very latest. I got to finish activity H by day 14 at the very latest. I want to finish activity G by day 14 at the very latest. Okay? Because I want to finish the whole thing by day 14. So, if I want to finish G by day 14 and it takes 7 days to do, then when is the latest I can start G? I gotta finish by 14, takes 7 days, so the latest I can start it is 7. That's my latest starting time for activity G. Same with H. If I have to finish by 14, it takes 3 days to do, when's the latest that I can start it? 14 minus 3 is 11. My latest starting time is 11. Over here, at activity I gotta finish by 14, takes me 4 days, the latest I can start it is day 8. Oh wait, 14 minus 4 is 10, sorry. 10. So my latest starting time is 10. So I gotta finish by 14, takes me 4 days, so the latest I can start it is day 10. Alright? This is where it gets slightly confusing. So look, activity H, the latest I can start it is day 11. If I'm going to start it by day 11, all of its prerequisites must finish by day 11. So E must finish by 11, C must finish by 11 at the very latest, and F must finish by day 11 at the very latest, in order for me to start H on day 11. Okay, make sure you understand that. I want to start H on day 11, therefore E must finish, and C must finish, and F must finish at the very latest by day 11. That is the last finishing time. Well, if the last finishing time is day 11 for E, then when's the last starting time? 11 minus 5 is 6. That is the absolute latest that I can start activity E. Same over here, look at C. If I must finish by 11, I've got to start it by day 1. It takes 10 days to do. F must finish by 11. It takes 3 days to do. So I must start 11 minus 3. I must start by day 8. Must start by day 8. Okay. Where am I up to? Okay. So I'm up to basically this node. And I'm up to this node. Yes. Alright. So, looking at the top node. If I have to start by day 7, and I'm going to start this by day 6, when must I finish B? So if I finish B on day 7, then E will be delayed. Okay, E will be delayed. I must finish by day 6. I must finish B by day 6. So I'm looking at the 7 and the 6, and I'm taking the smaller number. Over here, if I have to start F on day 8 and start I by day 10, the smaller number is 8. I gotta finish by day 8. And therefore I must start this by day 0. Over here, because I have to start E on day 6, B must finish by day 6. And if B finishes by day 6, then I can start G on day 7, no issues. Right? But if I finish on day 7, then I can't start E on day 6. So I hope that makes sense. You can pause the video, rewind it, listen to that carefully, okay? If I gotta finish B on day 6, then I gotta start B on day 5. And therefore I must end A on day 5. And then A will then start on day 2 at the very latest. Okay, and that's done. Yeah, I think that's complete. So now let's look at the float time. The float time will just going to be the difference between earliest start time and the latest start time. So above each activity, I will now write the float time. So for 7, that's a float time of 3. G has a float time of 3. H has a float time of 0. That is part of the critical path. Float time of 0. Alright, what about I? Well, 8, 10, there's a float time of 2. That is not part of the critical path. Look at F. Earliest start time 8. Latest start time 8. This is 0. This is also on the critical path. It's float time of 0. Absolutely no delays can be accommodated for activity F. And look, 0, 0, so this is clearly also part of the critical path, and this will have a float time of 0. Look at G. I've already done G. Looking at B, float time of 2. Looking at C, float time of, like looking over here, float time of 1. Okay, and looking at A, 0, 2, so the float time of 2 for A. I believe I've done the float time for all of these activities. Oh, for E I haven't. So for E, 6, 4, float time of 2. I believe that's all of them. Yeah, look, you can pause, rewind, rewatch. It's a matter of logic. You can understand it. If you do it the way I do it, it makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know. So hopefully that helps.